focused on people and community. This is WRAL News on Fox 50.
Breaking news right now on WRAL. A statue known as Slilent Sam, which has been standing on the UNC campus in Chapel Hill since 1913, now on the ground. This all unfolding within the last 45 minutes. Tonight, protesters brought down this memorial to alumni who lost their lives in the Civil War. And we've been following this story for hours on the air, online, and on social media. WRAL's Candace Sweat and Sarah Kruger have been on the campus all night tracking the movement of the protesters as well as the toppling of this statue. We're glad you're with us. I'm Catherine Brown.
And I'm Gerald Owens. The protest began around 7 o'clock with the statue coming down a few hours later. Let's get right to WRAL's Sarah Kruger. She's in Chapel Hill. Sarah, what's going on now? Set the stage for us.
Gerald, this is the culmination of everything that has happened tonight. We'll get as close as we can to show you the crumpled Slilent Sam statue that is now on the ground. To the left, you'll see the pedestal, the monument that it once stood on, but now it is the brass statue on the ground. And in fact, protesters were shoveling dirt on top of it after it was pulled down. As you mentioned, this all happened within the last hour. And if you'll look around me, you can see there are still many people out here. It is a very joyous mood. It's a celebration. I have seen students running from all corners of campus and from all around Franklin Street, presumably getting the news from social media that Slilent Sam was toppled, and they are running here to cheer and rejoice that this has happened. Now, this all started around 7 p.m. with an event that was supposed to be a rally in support of Maya Little, who's a UNC doctoral student who spread her own blood mixed with red paint on the base of Slilent Sam, and it was also supposed to be a protest of Slilent Sam. Then from Peace and Justice Plaza across the street, the protesters marched over here and they put up large banners around the base of this monument. And it was unclear what was going on underneath those banners, between the statue and those banners. And the group left, marched down Franklin Street, came back, and within a few minutes, the statue was on the ground. And now I want to head over, though, to my colleague Candace Sweat, who has more on this story. Candace, what's happening where you are?
Well, Sarah, we're on the other side of the statue. A lot of what you're seeing, the students standing around, not letting the rain stop them. We're going to also move a little bit closer so that you can see from our vantage point, students standing around actually wanting to take their turn and getting pictures with this toppled mass now that's on the ground. There are also officers who are now standing around the statue, trying to keep people away from the statue at this point. If we have the video to roll of the actual march, the moment when the students marched through the street, blocked Franklin, and forming a circle. Now, as I mentioned, maybe about 45 minutes ago during our cut-in, this really seemed like this was relatively organized, with them the students starting at the Justice and Peace Plaza, marching over here to Slilent Sam, then marching down Franklin Street, forming that circle, blocking traffic for a few minutes, and then marching back to Slilent Sam when that toppling happened. I want to take that video again of that toppling. This is the moment that this statue came down, and I can tell you there was one protester who walked up to my photojournalist Lauren and I and said, listen, something may be about to happen. You guys may want to get back. And maybe 2 minutes later, this statue came down. There was the smell of smoke, students cheering, jumping on the statue, spitting on the statue even, and of course taking pictures with this statue. And it happened so quickly. Really unbelievable to see it come down. Deborah, Catherine.
Candace, thanks. We can see police standing around that statue there. Was there any move made by police to stop this toppling?
Actually, I didn't see any movement of police as the statue was coming down. Now, keep in mind, they had those large banners up around the statue, and it was really difficult to see behind those banners what was going on, if there were students behind those banners, if there were ropes behind those banners. But at one point, you could see a rope coming from behind those large banners, and people starting to pull, and there was a little creak. And then within minutes, it came down. Now, I can tell you there was one man, I was near a couple of officers after the statue came down. There was a man who came and approached police and said, are you guys just going to let this happen? To which they said nothing. But at this point, they are surrounding this statue.
All right.
Candace, there are a lot of people in this community Or at least some people in this community who aren't happy that that statue has come down. They have protested in favor of the statue remaining up in Chapel Hill. Have you seen any sign of anyone protesting against the downing of this statue tonight?
Right, Gerald, when it comes to counter protesters, really not much in the way of that. A couple of people here and there coming up to voice their opinions about why they disagree with this group. Again, there was that man who came up and approached police and asked them, why are you allowing this to happen and not do anything? But as you talk about, large numbers and masses of people who are coming out to counter protest, no, we have not seen a lot of that. A few people walking by just expressing their disapproval, but no interactions or major altercations with counter protesters.
All right, Candace, and from what we understand, it has been peaceful up to this point. One arrest that we are aware of right now. Candace and Sarah, thanks to you both, and we know you'll continue to stay on that, following it through this newscast as well as on WRAL at 11.
Now, before toppling of the statue, the protesters gathered around it and set off smoke canisters. WRAL's Deborah Morgan is in the newsroom now with more on that part of the story. Deb?
Catherine and Gerald, let's show you about 25 to 45 minutes after the protest began. It started as a rally, and then the protesters started gathering around the Slilent Sam statue, and this is what we saw. We saw a bit of a scuffle between the protesters and police initially, and you see these smoke canisters that were ignited as the protesters were trying to gather around the Slilent Sam statue. We understand at this point, one person was arrested, and we were told they were arrested because they were concealing their identity at a rally that is against the law there in Chapel Hill and for many places across the state here. So one person for resisting arrest and concealing their identity. And before the toppling of the statue, we talked to quite a few people who were out there surrounding the statue about the mood and why they were there to participate.
I love the message on the front that says, for a country without racism, so that I'm just focusing on the positive messages here tonight.
Well, I'm supporting all the students here today because, as they've all said, as they all complain, this statue has got to go. It stands for racism, it stands for white supremacy, and it needs to go. And so as somebody who was tried and found not guilty of taking a statue down in Durham, I'm here to show my support for them.
I know that a lot of things have not been, going the way they want as far as it getting removed. So for them to just walk away, I'm a little surprised, but I know they probably have something else planned. So I'm excited to see what it is.
So we talked with her while the protesters were marching on Franklin Street, closing down that road. So that's why she said they were walking away, and then they came back, and that is when the statue was toppled. We also talked to a couple of students who were just freshmen, who are just starting classes tomorrow at UNC, and they said they just kind of stumbled upon this protest, and they said they were glad to see that happen, and what a way to start the school year. Gerald?
Yeah, Deborah, as we were watching this evening, it went from a 7 o'clock rally to the statue coming down less than 2.5 hours later, relatively quickly.
It was relatively quick. We followed it in breaking news form all the way on WRAL and WRAL.com all evening, and we saw it progress from that scuffle that we first showed you. Right here, we're going to see that again, to then the big banners going up around the statue itself, and then the march on Franklin Street, which they then came back and then toppled the statue. So it has been quite an evening. We've been following it all right here on WRAL News.
Yeah, some tense moments there.
Despite some of the chaos that video looks like, Candace and Sarah both mentioned a number of times that it appeared to be very well organized.
Yeah.
The people demonstrating had a plan and executed it.
And relatively nonviolent, aside from the statue coming down.
Right. Relatively peaceful,
Yeah.
as far as we've seen. One arrest,
Right.
but still obviously an ongoing situation. You saw people wearing rain jackets, and that just happened kind of within the last 30, 45 minutes or so. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth over in the Weather Center now monitoring what's happening in Chapel Hill as well as other parts of our viewing area. Amy?
Big changes just within the last 10 minutes. It was pouring right here at Franklin Street just a short time ago. Now it is much quieter. The roads are still wet, but the rain has basically come to an end. A couple of sprinkles, but the heaviest rain is now well off to the west. So it is drying up a little bit, but we have more that we're watching back to the south and west of Chapel Hill. I want to take you into parts of Wake County, getting some heavy rain in western parts of the county, northwestern parts of the county. Cary getting some heavy rain again, and also Apex Apex getting some of that rain activity. As we head back down to the south, we're getting some more showers and thunderstorms. We do not have any warnings, but they are producing frequent lightning as well as heavy rain down in Cumberland County into Sampson County. I've also been hearing from some of our viewers in the Goldsboro area with numerous lightning strikes there and some very heavy rain as well. Here's a look at Futurecast, and we have the potential for more showers and storms overnight tonight. Here's 4 o'clock in the morning, so don't be surprised if you hear some thunder overnight tonight. Then tomorrow morning, maybe a couple of showers. We do have the potential for more storms tomorrow, perhaps some severe thunderstorms. I'll talk about that and the timeline for more rain for your Tuesday coming up. Catherine?
All right, Amy, thank you. Busy night here in the WRAL newsroom. Plenty more to come, including a night at a local motel turning deadly. I had a woman shocked and then later died when she tried to reset the air conditioner. What her family wants to come out of this terrible accident.
Plus, communities hardest hit by Hurricane Matthew are still recovering. How one local area is receiving some added relief.
And reunions decades in the making. The story of those separated by years of war in North and South Korea coming up in our second half hour.
Trying to get some of this mocha latte, huh?
Jamie Foxx hosts twin teams.
Who gonna get that money?
And one surprise guest
Give it up for Shaq.
after another.
Lash and Joey in the building.
Beat Shazam, all new Tuesday on Fox.
100 American heroes are dropping in on MasterChef's Top 10.
This isn't some backyard barbecue.
2 all-new hours Wednesday on Fox.
The Hyundai Epic Summer Sales Event. This summer is going to be epic. Lease a Tucson for only $159 a month, or buy a new Santa Fe Sport with $37.50 in bonus cash. Hurry in today.
It's bow time at Bojangles. Need a flavorful, convenient meal? Come in today for 8 pieces of Bojangles perfectly seasoned chicken for just $11.99. And get 4 free made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuits. Every piece of Bojangles flavorful bone-in chicken is fresh, never frozen, and hand-breaded not once, but twice. Hurry in today for 8 pieces of chicken for just $11.99. And get 4 free biscuits. Only available for a limited time. Bojangles. It's bow time.
Want to get more for less this summer? Then hurry in to the final days of the Honda Summer Spectacular event with more savings. Every 2018 Honda is on clearance now with low 0.9 financing on your favorite Honda models. More selection, CR-V to HR-V, Odyssey to Pilot, Civic to Fit, even the all-new Accord, the 2018 North American Car of the Year, on clearance for just $249 a month. Don't settle. I didn't. See your Honda dealer of the Carolinas before clearance pricing is over.
Jack! Hey, Jack! Quick question for you.
No, mate, there's no actual beans in the beanstalk. It's just a name.
It's not that. It's that. Doesn't the giant normally say fee, fi, fo, fum?
Oh, right. I guess he decided to
get rid of fees. Unlike cable providers, with AT&T Internet, the price you see is the price you pay. $40 a month. No extra monthly fees, no surprises. The end. More for your thing. That's our thing. Call 1-877-ONLY-ATT.
Summer is the time to get out and go. But before you do, get in to the Hyundai.
The man accused of killing his pregnant wife told police he flew into a rage when he saw his wife strangling their daughters. According to court documents, Chris Watts told investigators he saw on a baby monitor his oldest daughter sprawled on her bed and blue in the face, and that he saw his wife, Shanann Watts, actively strangling their youngest daughter. He claims he ran into the room and strangled Shanann to death, then loaded the bodies into his work truck. They were found on the property where Chris Watts works. His young daughters had been submerged in crude oil for 4 days. Watts also told investigators he had told Shanann moments earlier that he wanted to end their marriage. Watts is charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder and unlawful termination of a pregnancy. Tonight, we're taking a closer look at footage from Raleigh police body cameras. The videos show exactly what happened when police and a suspect got into an altercation.
We are continuing our coverage of Frederick Hall, the 44-year-old man seen in a viral video fighting with Raleigh police officers Friday. The encounter happened at Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and Garner Road. Hall immediately went to the hospital but is now in jail. His family says officers used excessive force, but police and the district attorney called it justified. Our Casey Cunningham joins us live to break down the newly released videos. Casey?
According to the chief of police, the Raleigh Police Department actually went to court to petition for the release of this video. There's 5 body camera videos, 5 dash camera videos. They're hoping the public will get a clear picture of what happened on Friday.
Do not grab onto me.
In this body camera video just released today, you can see Frederick Hall begin to swing at officers after officers attempt to detain him. 2 officers fall to the ground after being hit by Hall. They have a difficult time, but one officer manages to get Hall on the ground. Once Hall is on the ground, officers try and restrain him and get him in handcuffs. And this is where we see a new angle of the altercation.
Stop biting her! Stop biting her!
Hall is biting a female officer. That's when officers begin to use force to try and get him to release her leg.
Get off my leg!
Officers are seen using their batons to try and remove Hall's grip of the officer's leg.
Let go of my leg!
Other officers are treated for their injuries, and ultimately Hall is transported to the hospital.
2, 3.
New today, Wake County District Attorney Lauren Freeman announced there would not be any criminal charges filed against the officers in this video.
Law enforcement have a very difficult job, and it is easy to look back a day after and think about things that might have been done differently or ways things might have been handled differently.
Hall is charged with resisting a public officer and assault on a government official. We spoke with Hall's family earlier today. At the time, they had not seen the video. We are told, Catherine Gerald, he is still in jail tonight.
All right, Casey Cunningham live for us. Thank you, Casey.
A woman is dead after she was electrocuted at a Nash County hotel. That's according to the victim's family members. Authorities say there were issues with an air conditioner in the room at the Economy Inn and Suites. In an attempt to fix it, they say the woman was shocked. A child was also injured and is being treated at a hospital. An investigation into this is underway. A road is open once again in Cary after a water main broke and shut it down for hours today. The town of Cary tweeted this photo of a dump truck stuck on Brook Green Drive where that water main busted. The residential road was closed near Gatehouse Drive as crews made repairs to the main as well as to the road. Well, after some delays, the Morgan Street Food Hall in downtown Raleigh is finally open. The food hall is located on West Morgan Street in the Warehouse District. It houses 22 vendors. Long communal picnic tables offer a space to eat with others, creating a shared space for creating community. Public Wi-Fi is also available.
We want to thank all of our viewers and everyone else who came out to help make this year's Clear the Shelters event a wild success. And the number of adoptions continues to grow. More than 1,800 animals from local shelters have new homes. That's 620 more than last year, and the most adoptions in our 3-year affiliation with this national event. WRAL would like to thank the 13 shelters that participated and all the families who opened their hearts and their homes to a new pet. Goldsboro is receiving nearly $1 million in new funds to help with Hurricane Matthew recovery efforts. Still, the funding will come from the Golden Leaf Foundation. It'll be used to help repair and replace infrastructure damaged by the hurricane nearly 2 years ago. The majority of the money will be used for sanitary sewer rehabilitation. Crews will replace about 3,000 linear feet of clay pipe sewer line. The remaining funds will be used for stormwater damage. 2 years. Almost. I mean,
Pretty
it's
incredible, yeah.
How long are we going to talk about this storm?
I know.
Long time.
Well, and now here we are talking about more heavy rain,
Right.
which, you know, over the last several weeks, many of us have just seen entirely too much. So this isn't what many of us need, but we do have the potential for more heavy rain that's coming down in several locations, and we'll have the potential for some heavy rain overnight tonight, and then maybe even again tomorrow night. We'll check in on a few of our sky cams. Goldsboro has had some heavy rain. It's really lightened up in the last 20 minutes or so, but if you look down at the street level, you can see on those puddles a little bit of rain still coming down, but it's a lot lighter than it was just about 30 minutes ago or so. Apex, we still have some light rain coming down as well. You can obviously see that the road here is wet, but again, if you look at some of the puddles down here, the rain is still coming down. It's just a little bit lighter right now. Also, we have some rain at RDU. Actually, just saw some lightning there as well. We're watching a storm that's very close to the airport right now, probably going to cause some issues for some of those late night flights. The tarmac's certainly wet. Here's a look at the radar right now. Here's that thunderstorm moving through the airport right now. It's a little bit quieter in Chapel Hill. We had a round of showers move through that brought some heavy rain. Now it is dry in Chapel Hill. As you travel to the east of Chapel Hill, that's where we have some heavier rain. Just to the west of Cary, a thunderstorm that's moving to the north and east. The worst of it might just miss Cary, but it does look like that southern part of it might impact folks in the Cary area. Apex still getting some light rain. Also watching this little line of thunderstorms from Pittsboro back over into parts of Harnett County, lifting to the north and east at about 20 miles per hour. Here's a look at the locations that will be impacted within the several minutes. Around 10:25, White Oak Beach, and then around Friendship at 10:31. And this is not a severe thunderstorm, but it could have some pretty strong gusty winds, maybe up to 40 miles per hour, certainly some heavy rain and some frequent lightning with that. Also watching some storms down in Cumberland County, the northern part of the county, over into Sampson County. And here's a look at Goldsboro right now. While the rain has lightened up a little bit, there is some more just to the west of you. So some heavier rain is possible within the next 20 to 30 minutes or so as another round starts to move in. In the last 3 hours, we have had some pretty hefty rainfall totals with many locations where we have had these pockets of thunderstorms, more than an inch of rain. And this is all lifting to the north and east into an area that has already had a lot of rain over the last several days. So here's Futurecast, and it does indicate that even around 1, 2 in the morning, we'll have the potential for some thunderstorms. So it's going to be similar to last night in the fact that we will have the potential for some thunder and maybe some gusty winds overnight tonight. Tomorrow morning, maybe a couple of showers lingering for the morning commute. And then as we head beyond the morning commute, things really quiet down for us. A good part of tomorrow is going to be dry. Here's 5 o'clock in the evening, maybe a stray shower or thunderstorm, but the better chance for thunderstorms, this is 11 o'clock tomorrow night, the better chance for storms will certainly be late tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. Now we do have the potential for severe weather tomorrow. We have a category 1 out of 5 threat level for tomorrow, with the main threats being some heavy rain. Again, this is very late tomorrow, frequent lightning, and the potential for some gusty winds. So tonight we're keeping a close eye on the radar, scattered storms around. We could have some areas of flooding. We'll be monitoring that. Temperatures in the 70s tonight. At 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, maybe a couple of showers, 74, and then we start to dry out a little bit for a good part of the day. And then late in the day, some storms arrive. Temperatures will climb into the 80s tomorrow afternoon. Wednesday is a quieter day for us. We have about a 20% chance of rain. Thursday is what we're all looking forward to. 81 for the high temperature. Dew points possibly in the 50s, which is almost unheard of in August, and some sunshine. And that continues into Friday. We start to heat up as we head back toward the second half of the week into next week.
Boy, it has been a long time since we've seen a flat line like that.
It has. Looking forward to it.
It's a welcome sight. Amy,
Yeah.
thank you.
Jeff is here with sports.
We got a big debut in the major leagues tonight for a local athlete. You know you can always dream big, but that doesn't guarantee it's going to come true. It does today for former Orange High School pitcher Bryce Wilson. A surprise major league debut next.
BMW, the ultimate driving machine. During the BMW Summer On Sales event, receive a credit of up to $3,000 on select models.
PEDALIAN, Susquehannian.
Now that's smart. You know what else is smart? My house, thanks to CPI. I press the Away scene on my InTouch app and instantly my whole house goes into lockdown mode. Plus, I can chat with anyone there. Come here, girl. I'll see you in a little while.
Call CPI today and get your choice of an InTouch doorbell camera or outdoor HD camera free.
A CPI home is the smartest and safest on the block.
Welcome. So what do you look for in a vehicle?
Dependability is top on my list.
Well, then here's some vehicles that deliver on that.
That's our truck. They're our cars.
Chevy's the only brand to have earned J.D. Power Dependability Awards across cars, trucks, and SUVs 3 years in a row.
Get 15% below MSRP on most Chevy Equinox models when you finance with GM Financial. That's over $5,600 on this Equinox. See your Central Carolina Chevy dealer.
It was always my parents' dream for me to go to college. And to this day, one of my biggest regrets is that I never finished. If you're the first in your family to go to college, if you took time off to raise your kids, or if you're in one career and you hear another calling, I get that, and Strayer University gets that. That's why we're teaming up, to help the people that matter the most, the students. Let's get it together. Let's do this.
Imagine experiencing this level of wow, this heightened state of car buying bliss. These feelings are not uncommon at the Honda Summer Spectacular event, where you
Covering sports in North Carolina for more than 3 decades. WRAL Sports with Jeff Grevley.
Well, we first met Bryce Wilson back in 2016, his senior season at Orange High School in Hillsborough. He was presented our Extra Effort Award as a star pitcher and outstanding football player. Bryce was supposed to pitch tomorrow night for Gwinnett against the Bulls in Durham. It's a major change of plans, though. He is called up today to make his major league debut for the Atlanta Braves. This season, Bryce has pitched in Single-A, Double-A, Triple-A, and now the majors. He goes 5 shutout innings, surrendering just 3 hits, strikes out 5 and walks 3. He's in line to get the win with the Braves leading 1-0. Atlanta got that run off of Clayton's Chris Archer. So we had 2 local pitchers on the mound tonight in Pittsburgh, and it has just ended. And Bryce Wilson will win his major league debut. Braves win it 1-0. Well, the last thing the Carolina Panthers need is another injury on the offensive line. Ron Rivera said starting left tackle Matt Khalil has been dealing with knee soreness that the team is looking into. They're already without starting tackle Darrell Williams, who tore his MCL, and starting guard Amino Silatulu, who tore his meniscus. You hear it all the time, the next man up mantra. But this is getting to be quite an issue, losing player after player on the offensive line.
Well, absolutely concerned. I mean, you've got 3 potential starters right now that are missing time, and so it's going to be tough. But again, us as coaches got to continue to do the best job we can, make sure everybody gets prepared. At the same time, it'll be a little bit of a chore for the play caller for North. I mean, he's going to have to think through his calls, and it'll be a little different for him. But again, we play with who we have on the field.
For what it's worth, the Panthers are 2-0 in the preseason. They will host the Patriots Friday night at 7:30. The Associated Press released its preseason college football poll. 4 ACC teams are included in the top 25. The top 2 in the poll are Alabama first, followed by Clemson checking in at number 2. They played each other for 3 straight years, including a tied win last year in the college football playoff semifinals. In the first place vote column, Alabama lands 42 today to Clemson's 18. Wisconsin had the other first place vote. So here's the top 5. It's Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, Wisconsin getting a lot of preseason hype, and Ohio State. Other ACC teams in, Miami at number 8, Florida State 19, Virginia Tech 20, NC State's in at number 32, Boston College just 2 behind them at 34. Florida State is losing A.D. Stan Wilcox, who is leaving to join the front office of the NCAA. Wilcox became the Seminoles A.D. in 2013 after serving 5 years at Duke as their senior deputy director of athletics. In his new role with the NCAA, Wilcox assumes the duties left by Oliver Luck, dad of Colts quarterback Andrew Luck, who left the NCAA to become commissioner and CEO of the rejuvenated and soon-to-be reopened XFL. Remember back then?
Yeah.
So Oliver leaves the NCAA. He was at West Virginia, and then he went to the NCAA, and now he's going to be with the XFL.
You can tell that we have this large appetite for football.
Exactly.
If we can bring that back up again.
Exactly, yes. There'll be 2 new leagues, one in the spring, too.
All right, Jeff, more work for you guys.
Bring it on.
Thanks, Jeff.
You got it.
When we come back, we will go back live to UNC, this story we've been following all night long, where protesters tonight brought down the Slilent Sam statue.
WRL's Candace Sweat will have a live report for us. Plus, we'll hear what people are saying on social media about this.
Lease a new 2018 RAV4 XLE for $219 a month for 36 months plus $500 bonus cash.
I think we need more signs.
Toyota, let's go places.
Having moderate to severe plaque psoriasis is not always easy. It's a long-distance run, and you have the determination to keep going. Humira has a proven track record of being prescribed for over 10 years. It's the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists. More than 250,000 patients have chosen Humira to fight their psoriasis, and they're not backing down. For most patients, clearer skin is the proof.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Join over 250,000 people who have chosen Humira. Ask your dermatologist about Humira and go.
It's the summer of Jeep. Time to get out there in the redesigned Jeep Cherokee. Or the Jeep Compass.
Mike said, "Hey guys, almost at Vista Point."
With legendary capability and the ultimate in-car experience, who knows where the adventure will take you. Connect with great deals on the official vehicles of summer. Well-qualified current lessees of competitive vehicles get a low-mileage lease on the 2018 Jeep Compass for $229 a month.
You wanted to save on prescriptions, so you went online and got so lost in a mumbo-jumbo of copays, coupons, and codes that your brain went offline. Next time, ask your CVS pharmacist. Our proprietary search tool analyzes ways to help lower your prescription costs. Just drop in before you conk out. See what you might save at CVS Pharmacy.
Welcome to Toyota's National Clear.
Our big story tonight, we continue to following the breaking news, the toppling of the Slilent Sam statue.
Yeah, a statue dedicated 105 years ago to the UNC alumni who died while fighting in the Civil War. We want to go back to the UNC campus where Candace Sweat is standing by live. Candace, have things calmed down there yet?
Yeah, certainly things are calming down. The students are still out here, though, of course. Right now, I want to give you a picture of what's happening behind us. The statue, as you mentioned, it is down. Now the task of cleaning things up, getting things out of the way. Police are moving the crowd back, backing us up, just to make sure that they can put up some caution tape around the area where the statue came down. I can tell you that we were here very, very close to the area when this statue came down. Again, a student coming up to us saying, listen, you guys may want to get back a little bit. Something may be about to happen. And sure enough, that statue maybe 2 minutes later came toppling down. But now UNC police here on the scene, again, moving the crowd back. We're moving back with the crowd as they try to surround the statue and figure out really exactly what's next. I want to talk to one of the students out here, though, who was out here before and after the statue came down. You're a UNC student, correct?
Yes. Senior.
All right. So why are you out here and how are you feeling about this at this point?
I'm really hyped, dude. I think that student activists, and I'm not an organizer. I didn't put in the work to make this happen, but student activists and students of color here have been working for a long, long time to make this happen, and they did it. Everything here was intentional. Every moment of this protest, every moment of this march, everything they did was smart. It was intentional, and it worked. It's down.
All right, and there you have it from a student. It's interesting. She uses the word intentional, and that's something that, you know, I've sort of been alluding to for the last hour or so, that this did not seem like it was a protest that was haphazardly put together. Very organized, again, with them starting at the plaza, marching over here to the statue, marching then to the middle of the street, blocking off Franklin Street for a few minutes, and then coming back here and pulling that statue down within minutes. Again, we're going to continue to stay out here and follow this story as it develops throughout the next few hours. Gerald, Catherine.
All right.
Yep, Candace Sweat live in Chapel Hill. Candace, thank you. And this is, of course, the story we've been following live all evening, also on social media.
Yeah, Deborah Morgan is in the newsroom now in the live center. Deb, with what are people saying on social media about this?
Well, Catherine and Gerald, you can see here, this is one of the first tweets that we got in saying Slilent Sam is down from Sami. But I also just received this statement from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. And here's what it says. About 9:20 this evening, a group from among an estimate estimated crowd of 250 protesters brought down the Confederate monument on the campus of University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Tonight's actions, they say, were dangerous, and we are very fortunate that no one was injured. We are investigating the vandalism and assessing the full extent of the damage. Again, this statement just coming in from UNC Chapel Hill. And as you said, people were definitely talking about this on social media as well, including our Candace Sweat, who brought you this tweet that said, breaking, protesters just brought the statue down. She was there when that happened, and her photographer was taking that video that you were just seeing too. Sarah Kruger also on the scene saying protesters are now putting dirt onto the crumpled Slilent Sam statue. And many people see this statue as a symbol of racism. So that is why these folks wanted to topple it and why they're actually throwing dirt on it as well. We have this one from Roxana saying Slilent Sam has fallen. Hashtag do it like Durham. You heard Sarah Kruger earlier this evening talking about how some of the protesters in the crowd tonight were also there for the toppling of the Durham Confederate statue. And also this one now from the other side of the argument, Clark Patterson saying you're a legitimately bad human being if you're out there protesting Slilent Sam. And Brittany Hall writes, but what would happen if an MLK statue was pulled down in the same manner? So that is some of the conversation tonight on Twitter. Like you said, a lot of people going to social media. Share your thoughts with us and on Facebook or on Twitter using the hashtag WRAL.
All right, Deborah Morgan in our newsroom. Thanks, Deb. In other news we're following tonight, a trial date has been set for the man accused in the mass shooting at the Capital Gazette newspaper in Annapolis. Jared Ramos is accused of killing 5 employees in June. The newspaper had written about Ramos pleading guilty to harassing a former high school classmate in 2011. Ramos unsuccessfully sued the writer and the publisher for defamation. Ramos will stand trial January 15th of next year. A woman in Terrell County is facing animal cruelty charges. Authorities have seized dozens of animals from a home, including cows, horses, goats, donkeys, chickens, a pig, a turkey, and a rabbit. 75 animals checked out by veterinarians, most of them suffering from lack of food and water. 39-year-old Christy Edwards faces several charges.
A new report says 72,000 Americans died from drug overdoses last year. Most of those deaths were opioid related. There's a new part of the population in crisis, pregnant women. For them, the risk of opioid addiction has quadrupled over the last 15 years. And doctors used to believe it was dangerous for women to try and detox during pregnancy. But now a doctor in Knoxville, Tennessee says he's helped 600 pregnant women detox safely, and not a single baby has died.
First Lady Melania Trump is heading to Africa. She made the announcement today. She will travel to Africa in October in her first major solo trip since becoming First Lady. In a statement, she said she's excited to educate herself on the issues facing children throughout that continent. She also said she wants to learn about Africa's culture and history.
Afghan officials say government forces have freed 149 people abducted by the Taliban. The group included women and children. A spokesperson for the Interior Ministry says the insurgents still have 21 others who are still being held hostage. They were captured during an ambush of a convoy of buses traveling in the Kanabad district. At least 7 Taliban fighters were killed as the rescue operation took place. And a principal in New Jersey has found a practical way to end some bullying. He discovered students coming to school in unwashed clothes were being harassed, both in person and online. A lot of the students come from low-income families, so the principal got a $20,000 grant to turn the old football team locker room into a free on-campus laundromat with commercial-grade machines.
There are many times that the students may come in because they're embarrassed, they don't look the same, somebody's complaining about a body odor. I would say, okay, baby, then we're going to have to do it the old way. You have soap, you have water. But now with this laundry room, we don't have to do that.
The laundry room will be available to students every day after school from 3 until 6.
Separated for decades, families torn apart by the Korean War are finally reunited.
We'll take you inside the emotional moment just ahead.
Shock the world again. The NFL is back. We give everything you got. Touchdown Eagles! Let's go! He's unbelievable. Eagles, Browns. Thursday at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Fox.
Summer's calling. 2018 Cadillacs are ready to move. Our best offers on 2018 models are here. Join us for the Made to Move sales event. Get 0% APR financing for 60 months plus $2,000 down payment assistance when financed through GM Financial on a 2018 XT5.
Between birthdays, holidays, and family reunions, make your home the one that brings the family together with Spectrum. Switch to Spectrum and get internet, TV, and voice for $29.99 each. Call 1-844-376-7732. Your family can power all their smart devices at the same time. At the starting speeds of 200 megabits, you live uninterrupted.
That's fast.
And unlike satellite, Spectrum TV gives you more free HD channels like BET and ESPN.
Hey, honey, let's switch.
Call 1-844-376-7732 for Spectrum Internet, TV, and voice for only $29.99 each with free DVR. And the best part? No contracts. And Spectrum will even buy out your current contract. And you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. Make your home a Spectrum home. Call now.
Introducing the all-new Volkswagen Jetta with 40 highway MPG and America's best bumper-to-bumper limited warranty.
During Volkswagen Smile and Drive days, you can lease a
We continue to follow that breaking news out of Chapel Hill tonight. The controversial Slilent Sam statue pulled down by protesters. The North Carolina Sons of Confederate Veterans says they'll be issuing a full press release on the subject tomorrow morning.
Commander R. Kevin Stone gave us this statement over the phone saying, quote, very disappointed that the administration at UNC allowed this to happen. We expect more tomorrow from this group. Again, the Sons of the Confederate Sons of the Confederate Veterans issuing this statement. And now, after decades of waiting, families in North and South Korea are reuniting.
That is after years of being separated by war. Benjamin Hall has more on the long-awaited reunions.
Whether it's the leadership in the North or in the South, both sides should work towards letting these separated families reunite at any time with great foresight.
After more than 6 decades, family in North and South Korea divided by war are finally reunited. The families separated since the end of the Korean War, thanks to a decades-long political gridlock between Pyongyang and Seoul. Monday marks the first reunion event in 3 years between the two rival countries, who have recently reopened diplomatic efforts to resolve a standoff stemming from the North's nuclear weapons program. Over 60% of those seeking reunions are over the age of 80. Many grateful they are still alive to see this day.
I'm over 90, so I don't know when I'm going to die. I'm very glad that I've been selected for the family reunions this time. I'm walking on air now. I feel very grateful.
One mother waiting a lifetime to meet her now 71-year-old son.
I'm sure I won't recognize him. He was 3, but now he's 71, and he won't recognize me either. I want to ask him how he lived through all these years, whether he was raised by a new mother, or did his father raise him on his own.
The emotional reunion caught on camera as mother and son embraced, wiping away tears of happiness and catching up on decades of lost time.
Unbelievable. Benjamin Hall reporting. And while long awaited, the reunions are short in length. Families spending only 3 days in North Korea. That's just 11 hours together under heavy supervision. Unbelievable after all these years.
Absolutely. Well, we're watching the radar. More showers and thunderstorms moving in, some heavy rain, and the potential for a little bit of flooding overnight tonight. A look at how long the rain sticks around and when the weather gets much better coming up.
Choice, one low price, just $6.88. Or finance for $14 a month interest-free until January 2023. Now at Rooms to Go.
It's Nissan's Bottom Line Model Year-End event. Get big clearance savings on the last of our 2018s. Like Rogue, featuring Nissan's latest tech, like ProPilot Assist. It's tech that can stop and start on its own in heavy traffic. The smartest time to buy a new Nissan is now.
Save up to $4,780 on Rogue, or get 0% financing for up to 60 months on 13 models.
But hurry, the bottom line and our 2018s are almost gone.
This storm season, Duke Energy is doing our best to be better for you. That's why we're improving how we respond to storms and investing in a stronger, more resilient grid. We know you rely on us, so when storms strike, we'll be there to get the power back on as safely and quickly as possible while keeping you better informed. We're Duke Energy, and we're working hard to build a smarter energy future for you.
Leaf has it. Leaf has the biggest savings of the year, guaranteed to bring out your biggest smile. It's the Leaf Model Year-End Sales Event on all remaining 2018 models. That's all cars, trucks, SUVs, and crossovers at You're Gonna Smile prices. Yep, you're rewarded at Leaf with a fantastic selection, more for your trade, and prices that'll leave you with a wide grin. The Leaf Model Year-End Sales Event. Visit leafcars.com. It's easier here.
At Aetna, we believe in taking care of the whole you. That's why we take a total approach to health and wellness, so you can age actively. And we simplify Medicare by connecting you to the right coverage, resources, and care. So you can keep pursuing the life you love. Aetna Medicare Solutions.
Now through Labor Day.
The Miss America pageant organization is fighting back against claims made by the reigning Miss America. Clara Mund accuses the organization of bullying and silencing her. Head of the organization, Gretchen Carlson, says the truth is actually quite the opposite, and she's taken many steps to make Mund's experience a good one. Mund says she's been the victim of workplace bullying and are to blame for a loss of sponsorships. Some persistent fans ignored the warnings and are recovering tonight after getting hurt at a concert. At least 14 people were hurt at a Backstreet Boys concert. The National Weather Service says straight-line winds knocked over the entrance trusses at the venue. 98 Degrees and the Backstreet Boys were set to perform there. A venue spokesperson said alarms sounded, but many patrons did not heed the warnings. Fortunately, no one was seriously hurt. The Backstreet Boys apologized to fans and tweeted they will be back in Oklahoma soon.
Yeah, Amy, those winds, 70 to 80 miles an hour, straight line winds, can be very devastating.
No joke. We also had a downburst actually in right in the triangle last night, just north of downtown Raleigh. So if folks in that part of the viewing area experienced some very strong winds overnight, it was because of a downburst.
That doesn't surprise me. That weather last night
was rough.
Wild, yeah.
We have more. It's another active weather night tonight with heavy rain rolling through parts of the viewing area. Let's take you to the radar right now. Watching a couple of spots, and a few of those jump out at you. One moving through the triangle right now, one down to the south in Johnston County, back over into parts of Wayne County as well. All the activity generally lifting to the north and east at about 20 miles per hour. Did have some pretty heavy rain at the airport. This is lifting to the north and east to the Leesville area. About to get some heavy rain within the next 20 minutes or so, and also some lightning associated with this. Also down toward Cary, some light to moderate rain, but look back to the south and west of you, more headed your way. It is certainly coming down in Apex right now, some very heavy rain there. Here's a line of thunderstorms that will continue to lift to the north and east at about 20 miles per hour. Of course, we are keeping an eye on the Carborough-Chapel Hill area with our crews there, keeping a close eye on the breaking news that we've had there. If you're in the Carborough-Chapel Hill area, the rain is likely going to get there around 10:55, 11 o'clock. So be sure to join us over on WRAL of an update on the radar. Very heavy rain, frequent lightning, and the potential for some flooding in a few spots with that particular line. Also back down toward Johnston County, numerous showers and some thunderstorms over toward Wayne County, Goldsboro, Road just to the west of town getting some pretty heavy rain as well. Here's a look at Apex, and the rain continues to fall heavily here in Apex. It's certainly another soggy night for folks in and around the Triangle and points to the south. Here's a broad look at the satellite and radar. You can see the activity lifting to the north and east, likely sticking around at least for the next few hours, probably until around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning if you think that this is going to stay together into our northeastern counties. And right now it does look like it could do so. Here's what we're watching for later in the week. We have a cold front that's well off to the west right now. It moves in late Wednesday. Behind this front, that is what everyone is looking forward to. It is drier, the humidity is low, it will be nice and sunny, and the temperatures will cool off. We have to wait until Thursday for that. Tomorrow we have a 30% chance of rain during the daylight hours. We'll bump that up to about a 50% chance late tomorrow night. Only a 20% chance of rain on Wednesday. I think the higher rain chance will be in our eastern counties Wednesday, and then a very low chance for rain for the rest of the week. In fact, I think we're going to have a lot of sunshine Thursday through Saturday. Temperatures, they'll be pretty warm over the next couple of days, but as that cold front moves through, it drops our temperatures into the lower 80s for our highs for Thursday and Friday. And then the real big thing you're going to notice is the drop in humidity. The dew point's still pretty high over the next couple of days, but down into the 60s, perhaps into the 50s in a few spots, and that is some real dry air for the month of August. So again, we got to wait until Thursday. It continues into Friday and a little bit of Saturday as well, but something to look forward to. Tonight, more heavy rain and the potential for some flooding in a few spots. 72 for the overnight low. The commute tomorrow, we might have a few lingering showers, otherwise mostly cloudy, 74 degrees. And if you want to go to the pool tomorrow, just a slight chance of a storm. I think most of the rain's going to hold off until late tomorrow evening, tomorrow night. Our high temperature tomorrow up to around 87 degrees. Wednesday, again, just a 20% chance for rain, 87 for the high. Thursday is the day to look forward to. 81 degrees for the high, mostly sunny. Friday, football Friday, it's going to be fantastic for the football games. Temperatures will be in the 70s with a very low dew points. Then as we head toward the weekend, especially the second half of the weekend, it starts to warm up. And then I know a lot of kids on the traditional calendar headed back to school Monday probably aren't going to need the rain gear, but it's going to be a little bit hot for those kiddos as they head back to school. The high temperature Monday up to around 90 degrees.
All right.
So these line of storms, we've seen a lot of this training, you call it.
Right.
Where very few areas get a whole lot of rain.
Right.
So the more upright it is, more people get rain. This is kind of like this. So we're going to have a lot of people.
A lot of people will be impacted,
Yeah.
but fortunately it's got some motion to it.
Yeah.
Moving to the northeast about 20 miles per hour.
Good.
So hopefully we won't have to deal with flooding, but it is soggy, it's saturated.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wouldn't rule it out.
All right, Amy, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, men, women, children, everyone can participate.
Yes, everyone's still ahead. How this year's beard and mustache competition open to anyone who wanted to take part.
For you with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
What sets Carly C's apart? Our personal service and quality. And that's why our bakery is like an extension of Mom's kitchen. We make cakes, breads, rolls, and sweet treats from scratch every day. No matter how big or small your next get-together, Carly C's Bakery will make it tasty and special. Baked goods just like Mama used to make. That's Carly C's. Thanks for shopping.
Hometown proud, Carly C's.
Here come the last of our 2018s.
Toyota's national clearance event is the best part of summer.
And with super low APR financing and great lease deals, it won't last long.
Oh, I'm so excited.
You are not alone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah! Yes!
But my job.
Right now, during the national clearance event, get 1.9% APR for 60 months, plus $500 bonus cash on a new 2018 Toyota Highlander.
Save on the last of the 2018s. Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
At AT&T, we believe in access, the opportunity for everyone to explore a digital world full of possibilities, connecting with family, friends, and the things that matter most. And because nothing keeps us more connected than the internet, we've created Access from AT&T. If a member of your household is a SNAP participant, you may qualify for home internet at a discounted rate of $10 a month. No commitment, deposit, or installation fee. Visit att.com/access now to learn more.
This is where we prove German luxury cars are the best in the world.
Infiniti QX60.
This is not German.
Sliding second row. Why? Magic lift gate. Not for the track. This is unacceptable. Does it come in blue?
During the Start Your Own Legacy sales event, lease the Infiniti QX60 for $429 a month. Visit your local Infiniti retailer.
My feet hurt so bad in the morning, I couldn't even put my feet on the floor. So I built all this.
An historic post office in Florida will not have a forwarding address. Today, crews worked to save the Seaside Post Office by moving it to another location. They lifted the building and then dropped it. Yikes. Authorities say the building was damaged and they're working to figure out what to do next. The post office was a favorite photo spot for tourists.
A robot competition was a big hit at the World Robot Conference in China. The event, known as King of the Bots, can be best described as a cage match for remote-controlled machines. Sparks flew and wheeled robots tumbled as they crashed into each other. This was the lightweight match for robots weighing 30 pounds or less. Hold your breath. A young man waits to hear if he has broken a world record by solving 6 Rubik's Cubes underwater. Vako Marshallashvili said that he trained for more than 6 months to achieve this feat. He sat in a glass tank and solved the puzzles as quickly as he could. Still holding your breath? Well, get this. He was underwater for 1 minute 44 seconds. That's about 1 minute 22 seconds longer than this story.
Oh my gosh. He takes that big deep breath when he comes up. Floating on a pool noodle in the Florida Keys. Nothing out of the ordinary about that, but check out who hopped on this noodle. Yeah, that's right. It is a crocodile just floating the day away on a pool noodle. A man captured the rare sight and, of course, posted it on social media. What else? The post, as you can imagine, has gone viral with the hashtag KeysLife.
Dachshund owners converged in London for a huge party. It's all part of the trappings of a normal festival just for dogs. Just add dogs, rather. The animals got puppuccinos and popcorn. The organizers say they love their dogs. This was the 5th event. Participants say they cannot wait until next year.
I bet they can't.
Oh.
Well, things are getting a bit hairy in part of England. More than 200 people from around the world gather to sport their beards and mustaches in the Beard and Mustache Championships. With 21 different categories, organizers say it is an all-inclusive event. There's a contest for almost every type of beard, including the Amish beard, sideburns, and freestyle.
Right.
Even women, you can see here, getting in on the contest in a fake beard competition.
And you are not a bearded woman?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No,
You prefer clean shaven?
I do, yes.
Okay.
I would have lost that altogether.
Thank you for watching. We leave you with the breaking news we have been covering all night. The toppling of the Slilent Sam statue on UNC's campus.
We'll have live reports and brand new information just into our newsroom in a few minutes over on WRAL at 11. Have a great night.
Low miles with minimal wear. Finding that perfect like new used car.
Oh, one for Mochi, one for Junior New System. Howie?
You know, I think Simon said it last night, and you both you groups, Junior New System and Mochi, have passion like no other act, where you can see what this means. It's not just a career, it's a life, and we watched that in your performances. Last night, Junior New System, I just thought you made a mistake in not starting with the heels. So, no. And I thought that Mochi stepped it up one more step. So that's why I'm going with Mochi.
Whoa, 2 for Mochi, 1 for Junior New System. Simon, it is in your hands.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Sorry, Simon.
I can make a case of both acts. I think, Mochi, what you did, you know, based on what your act is, I thought it was electrifying, genuinely. It was so much better. Guys, I think from the minute we first met you, you know, you made a huge impact on us, the audience at home. It wasn't your best night last night. tell you what I'm going to do. Because I'm going to vote for Junior New System.
Oh, so the acts are tied. 2 judges want Mochi, 2 judges want Junior New System. So the act which got the most votes from you at home will go through. Do you see how important it is that you guys vote? Yes. Okay, here we are. Based on America's vote, the act going into the semifinals is Junior New System. Thank you so much, Mochi. You did so well. Yeah, thank you so much. Congratulations, Junior New System, and everybody else. All our semifinalists are out here right now, at least our first pack. We're going to be back next week. See you 8, 7 Central, Tuesday.
America's Got Talent, live Tuesday and Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on NBC.
Let us help you start what's next.
Focused on people and community. This is WRAL News.
The Slilent Sam statue, a familiar and controversial landmark on UNC's campus, stands no more. Protesters brought down the statue on the campus since 1913, a memorial to alumni killed in the Civil War. As it toppled, some say a piece of history fell. But for these protesters, it was victory years in the making.
People power! People power!
From closing the main street through campus to stomping the toppled statue, protesters hope their actions tonight lead to a more inclusive and diverse campus. WRAL's team coverage of Slilent Sam's fall continues now.
And we begin with this live picture from Chapel Hill, where all of this is continuing to unfold tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Deborah Morgan.
And I'm Gerald Owens. We have been monitoring this situation and have been on the air live and online much of the evening following all the breaking developments in this story.
And I'm Brad Johansson live at Polk Place on the campus of UNC in Chapel Hill as the rains now begin to fall. Behind me, you see what remains of the Slilent Sam statue, with the police vehicles and many police officers now guarding what is left of that statue tonight. We take you through the video of when it came down, which was at 9:20 this evening. And as Slilent Sam came down, protesters kicked and threw dirt on the statue as it was down. This is a statue, as Deb mentioned, that was raised and dedicated in 1913 as a monument to Confederate soldiers, many of whom came from UNC. 40% of the student body actually went into the Civil War. Some of them actually fought for the North. Most of them fought for the South. It was the largest contingent from any university in the United States. But since that statue came back as a monument to Confederate soldiers, it stood as one of the controversies here on this campus. People who believed that it was a symbol of what was wrong with America. So it has been that state of controversy that here on this campus, protesters on both sides have come to argue their stance. The protesters came out tonight with something new in mind. And from the university, a statement tonight. It says, tonight's actions were dangerous and we were very fortunate that no one was injured. We are investigating the vandalism, assessing the full extent of the damage. All night, WRAL has been here with multiple crews. Sarah Kruger has been here. She was also at the site of a Durham monument takedown just last year. And Candace Sweat was here with the protesters who are marching away from the statue. We begin with Sarah Kruger. Sarah?
Brad, the rain is pouring down here. The crowd has dissipated, but those who are here are still incredibly excited. And this is what is left of Slilent Sam. It is now covered in tarp, but it has been toppled from that pedestal. And you can see around the base of it some of these poles and these wires that were all used to tear this down. Police vehicles now block this off, and I'm sorry for that profanity in the background if you all are picking up on that. But police vehicles now block this off, presumably to guard this, and at some point they will haul this away. Now, this started as an event around 7 o'clock tonight that was a protest of Slilent Sam. It then came over this way. Protesters marched over here. They put up large banners and covered the entire sides of this pedestal. I want to show you some video now of the exact moment that that statue was toppled down. It was difficult to see because of those banners, I'm sure strategically so, but the statue crumpled down. You could hear the ding of it hitting the ground. And there have been a lot of questions about what police were doing at this point, and they were not getting involved at that point. There had been some tense moments earlier, but they were standing back, and protesters had really built a human wall around the base of the pedestal. Now I want to go over to Candace Sweat to continue this story. Candace. Okay, and we do not have Candace, so Brad, back to you.
All right, we'll send it back here. We'll get to Kansas. We're in the middle of a very heavy rainstorm that started, of course, just as we were on air. Things happened a little bit differently tonight. I want to give you a statement that was sent out tonight by the Sons of Confederate Veterans. They said simply, we're very disappointed that the administration at UNC allowed this to happen tonight. As we talk about interesting and change, it is the first day of classes here tomorrow. They registered just over 5,000 students, 5,095 to be exact. The undergrad class, I'll give you the demographics of the students that are coming in. 97 North Carolina counties, including 40% from rural counties in the state. 43 states are represented, and the District of Columbia, and 38 countries. All of those new students got a chance to see what happened tonight. I want to show you a little bit of what happened earlier as the protest began. I'll take you out to some of the confrontation that began between the protesters and the police. And as that happened, there were gas cans that were administered. While that was happening, there were people who were heading up on top of Slilent Sam and wrapping it with protest sheets so that people were left inside of that. And after that happened, people then went outside and continued the protest. It was Candace and Sarah who got this sound as that was happening.
I love the message on the front that says, for a country without racism, so that I'm just focusing on the positive messages here tonight.
Well, I'm supporting all the students here today because, as they've all said, as they all complain, this statue has got to go. It stands for racism, it stands for white supremacy, and it needs to go. And so as somebody who was tried and found not guilty of taking a statue down in Durham, I'm here to show my support for them.
What does Slilent Sam stand for in your mind?
Yep, white supremacy. None of what I stand for. I don't feel really safe with it being here.
So those some of the sounds from some of the people. The anticipation was they didn't know how many would show up. From UNC, their statement said about 250 protesters. Candace is with me now and just running in from the middle of this storm. You were in the middle of it all. You followed the protesters out to Franklin Street, as we might say in layman's term, kind of an okey-doke.
Yeah.
To send people down to Franklin Street while they were working on Slilent Sam.
Indeed. They had those the pillars up, the banners up, and you couldn't really see the whole time what exactly was going on.
Could you tell at that time that there were people still inside what was being put up?
When they started to move, there was so much going on. And again, very strategic and very organized. Don't think for a second that none of this was planned out. This was certainly planned out. And no, you couldn't tell that there was actually somebody still behind those banners.
We talked with Sarah earlier, who was at the Durham protest as well, and she said she recognized many of them. Did you recognize any others who have been to multiple monument protests before?
Brad, we've been covering this for quite some time. And yeah, you do see a lot of familiar faces out here over the last year. So certainly not a lot of new people, but students coming in and joining in solidarity.
You talked about the planned protest. Take me out to Franklin Street and what happened as the organization, as they surrounded the street and blocked off traffic.
Right, they started to move and mobilize to Franklin Street and got to a certain area in front of Top of the Hill, a very popular place here in Chapel Hill, UNC gathering spot, and that's when they used the bullhorns to say start to form a circle. At that point, they mobilized again, formed a circle relatively quickly, and again, you can tell that this is strategic. They thought this through. They formed that circle, stayed there for a few minutes, and then all of a sudden, they start moving back.
Were you able to talk to people as it came down and get a feeling of the jubilation, as we might say, from the protesters who believed that their plan worked perfectly tonight?
Certainly a lot of excitement. Here's what really stood out to me before the statue came down. There was a young man who approached myself and photojournalist Lauren DeZarmo, and he had his bandana over his head, which, by the way, police did not want the students to wear bandanas over their face. That was part of that contention between the protesters and police. And he said, you guys may want to move out of the way. Something may be about to happen. And sure enough, 3 minutes later, that statue came down via rope and people pulling on that rope.
Candace Sweat, who's been here all night, thanks so much. So we are at Polk Place. The pouring rain continues to come down. Slilent Sam has come down tonight. For now, guys, we'll send it back to you.
Brad, I had a question about the condition of the statue on the ground. Is Candace still, can you reach her real quick? I want to know if
Candace,
it's still intact, and could they possibly put this back up?
I don't have IFB.
Gerald is asking if you could tell the status of Slilent Sam. We saw protesters stomping on it, throwing dirt on. What's the status of it? Is it still intact as it's on the ground, or could you even tell?
I would say probably there's some damage to the face of it. It's not in 2 or 3 pieces. It's certainly still one big mass. But this isn't something that I foresee them being able to just hoist and put back up as it was, no.
Yeah, we'll find out a lot more in the morning. Gerald?
All right, thank you, Brad. Thank you, Candace, and all of our team there for your comprehensive coverage in a driving rainstorm in Chapel Hill. In the past few minutes, we received a statement from the governor's office. It reads, quote, Governor Cooper has been in contact with local law enforcement and UNC officials regarding tonight's rally and appreciates their efforts to keep people safe. The governor understands that many people are frustrated by the pace of change, and he shares their frustration. But violent destruction of public property has no place in our communities. We will, of course, continue to cover this story and get reaction on the air and online. Make sure to watch our morning news on WRAL beginning at 4:30.
Well, now to the weather. As you can see, strong storms popped up tonight. Look at what's happening there in Chapel Hill. And if you have not seen rain yet, showers and storms could still be coming your way. Meteorologist Amy Wilmot has a look at the radar and what we can expect. And that live picture from Chapel Hill really says it all about what's happening there, Amy.
It's coming down in sheets. And this is heavy rain, and at times we see some flashes of lightning as well. So want to make sure our crews are safe and get out of that thunderstorm as it continues to lift to the north and east. The heaviest rain right over Chapel Hill right now. It looks like the concentration of lightning is just south of town, which is good news for the folks that are outdoors in Chapel Hill. But this is lifting to the north and east, impacting folks in parts of Orange County and eventually into Durham County. Here's Durham here. This is lifting to the north and east. Also has some thunderstorms in and around Wake County. This moving to the north and east, about to move into downtown Raleigh. Also watching some area of rain across parts of Johnston County and Wayne County. Very heavy rain there. We do have a flood advisory that is now in effect until 2 a.m. Some very heavy rain continuing to fall there. We'll have an update on the radar and the potential for some more storms tomorrow coming up in just a few minutes. We'll be right back.
That works at liquid speed. You'll ask, what pain? Advil Liquid Gels Minis.
Dear Fresh Pet, Rudy got older and suddenly stopped eating. Then we found Fresh Pet. Now Rudy's 13 and going on 3.
Tomorrow on Access.
Do a double bleep. Go do a double bleep. Yeah, they can double bleep that.
Kevin Hart, unfiltered and only on Access. That's tomorrow.
100 American heroes are dropping in on MasterChef.
This is massive.
Pork chop's completely raw.
No!
The top 10 compete to impress their mentors.
This isn't
some backyard barbecue.
Guys, if you open the oven, close it, please.
I just know something crazy is about to happen.
2 all-new hours of MasterChef, Wednesday at 8, 7 Central.
There's actually a hair in my dish.
It's not mine. It's not yours.
On Fox.
You can drink, eat well, and exercise, but to look completely healthy, you need healthy skin. Cetaphil Water-Like Moisturizers immediately rehydrate skin for continuous hydration, day and night. Complete your healthy routine with Cetaphil.
Must have jeans? Whatever your style, we got it. Hurry into JCPenney for buy one, get one free on select denim. Plus, take an extra 20% off store-wide with card and coupon. JCPenney, style and value for all.
You don't realize what a difference they make until you realize what a difference they make. The all-new Ram 1500. Why more people are switching to Ram than ever before.
Get an average $13,696 in total values or 0% APR for 6 years on the 2018 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab.
This summer, Sheetz is giving you 3 chances to win a Ford F-150, a Ford Explorer, a Ford Mustang, or $50,000 with the Sheetz My Free Ride Summer Sweepstakes. During the month of August, use your registered My Sheetz card when you purchase any 2 16-ounce Monster energy drinks and any MTO food item, and you could be entered for a chance to win a Ford Mustang or $50,000 in cold, hard cash.
You're watching Deborah Morgan and Gerald Owens, only on WRAL News.
Earlier tonight, our big breaking news involved new video just into our newsroom. Raleigh police body cameras showing exactly what happened when police and a suspect got into an altercation.
44-year-old Frederick Hall is the man in the viral video fighting with officers on Friday. The encounter happened at Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and Garner Road. Hall immediately went to the hospital, but he is now in jail. His family says officers used excessive force, but police and the district attorney call it justified. WRL's Casey Cunningham breaks down the newly released videos.
According to the chief of police, the Raleigh Police Department actually went to court to petition for the release of this video, hoping to make it a little bit more clear to the public about what happened on Friday.
Do not grab onto me!
In this body camera video just released today, you can see Frederick Hall begin to swing at officers after officers attempt to detain him. 2 officers fall to the ground after being hit by Hall. They have a difficult time, but one officer manages to get Hall on the ground. Once Hall is on the ground, officers try and restrain him and get him in handcuffs. And this is where we see a new angle of the altercation.
Stop biting her! Stop biting her!
Hall is biting a female officer. That's when officers begin to use force to try and get him to release her leg.
Get off my leg!
Officers are seen using their batons to try and remove Hall's grip of the officer's leg.
Let go of my leg!
Other officers are treated for their injuries, and ultimately Hall is transported to the hospital.
2, 3.
New today, Wake County District Attorney Lauren Freeman announced there would not be any criminal charges filed against the officers in this video.
Law enforcement have a very difficult job, and it is easy to look back a day after and think about things that might have been done differently or ways things might have been handled differently.
Hall is charged with resisting a public officer and assault on a government official. We did speak with Hall's family earlier. They tell us at the time they had not seen the body camera footage yet, and we're told Hall is still in jail tonight. Reporting at RPD, Casey Cunningham, WRAL News.
The man accused of killing his pregnant wife told police in Colorado he flew into a rage when he saw his wife strangling their daughters. According to court documents, Chris Watts told investigators he saw on a baby monitor his oldest daughter sprawled on her bed and blue in the face, and that he saw his wife, Shanann Watts, actively strangling their youngest daughter. He claims he ran into the room and strangled his wife to death, then loaded the bodies into his work truck. They were found on the property where he works. His young daughters had been submerged in crude oil for 4 days. Watts also told investigators he had told Shanann Watts moments earlier that he wanted to end their marriage. Chris Watts is charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder and unlawful termination of a pregnancy.
We want to go back to Amy in the Weather Center. What the Dual Doppler 5000 lighting up out there, and it is pouring over the station here in downtown Raleigh.
We can certainly hear it. This is what's happening.
Oh boy.
Right outside of the door here at the WRAL studios. This is the WRAL Gardens, and you can see flashes of lightning there and just an absolute deluge of rain here at our studios in Raleigh. We have a couple of spots with some heavy rain across the viewing area. One of the spots in Goldsboro getting some very heavy rain. Another round. They've had a couple of rounds, and that's why they have a flood advisory until 2 a.m. So here's a look at the radar right now, and you can see that we have several spots. One of them that jumps out at you is the area right in the center of Wake County with a lot of lightning, some very heavy rain. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some areas that experience some flooding simply because we've had so much rain within the last couple of days. Keeping a close eye on Chapel Hill, very heavy rain there. It looks like the heaviest rain is about to make its way out of town and head up toward the Durham area within the next half hour or so. It'll likely be in the Durham area. Durham right now just getting some light rain. Here's a look at what's going on in and around the Triangle from Cary over down to just to the west of downtown Raleigh, right here at the TV studios in Raleigh, and just now making its way into Garner right now. Also see the lightning strikes there. Very heavy rain. This is the same area that had 4 inches of rainfall last night. So very concerned about this heavy rain lifting to the north and east at about 20 miles per hour. Here's a look at the storm track. If you're in the New Hope area, around 11:27 is when the heaviest rain will be toward you. The Noose area around 11:33. Down to the south, keeping a close eye on Johnston County, a flood advisory in effect for you until 2 a.m. Very heavy rain coming down. And then here's a look at Wayne County, Goldsboro. Heavy rain with lightning also, and experiencing flooding in a few spots there. So very active weather night again tonight. Here's a look at Futurecast, and we have the potential for thunderstorms at least through midnight, 1 a.m., even into 2 a.m. We could have a couple of thunderstorms, and now starting to indicate that even around 4 a.m. some showers still possible. Here's 7 o'clock. We start to see things lighten up for the morning commute. From that, as we head into the afternoon, it does look like it's going to be a pretty quiet weather day for us for most of tomorrow. Here's 5 o'clock in the evening. It's not until late tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, when we could see another round of some showers and storms. And some of those could be severe. We do have a Category 1 risk for severe weather tomorrow, a Category 1 risk out of a Level 5 risk. So we do have the potential for some severe weather tomorrow, but again, I think that's going to be late tomorrow evening and more likely tomorrow night. We're watching the radar. Storms moving through right now. We have the potential for some flooding in a few spots, certainly a lot of lightning and heavy rain with these storms rolling through. Temperatures tonight will get down into the 70s. For the morning commute, while we can't rule out a stray shower or two, it shouldn't be as heavy as what we're dealing with right now. 74 degrees for the temperature for that morning commute. Tomorrow afternoon, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, but most of the day is dry. Again, late tomorrow, we'll have some thunderstorms roll through. Highs tomorrow in the low 80s to the north, upper 80s to near 90 from central parts of the viewing area down to the south. Wednesday, we have about a 20% chance of rain. The best chance Wednesday will be in our eastern counties. 87 for the high, and then a cold front arrives late Wednesday, making it feel wonderful Thursday. Lots of sunshine, the dew point in the 60s, maybe even 50s, very comfortable with a high of 81. Friday looks good too, 83 for the high temperature, mostly sunny, nice and dry, and then temperatures start to heat up as we head into the second half of the weekend and into next week. But some active weather out there again tonight.
Yeah,
be
couple
careful
more days.
And
tomorrow too, so
maybe
not quite out of the
tomorrow.
woods
Yeah.
yet.
All right, thanks, Amy.
Yeah.
Well, you can always dream big, but that doesn't guarantee it will come true, right?
That's right. It does today for former Orange County High School pitcher Bryce Wilson. Coming up in sports, a surprise Major League debut. Next.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Taylor. Welcome to tonight's lottery drawings for Monday, August 20th, 2018. Let's get started now. The Carolina Pick 3. The first winning number tonight in the Carolina Pick 3 is 5. The second number, 9, and the third number tonight in the Pick 3 is 7. Joining before tonight's drawings is our auditor from Thomas & Gibbs. Now let's move to the Carolina Pick 4. The first winning number tonight in the Carolina Pick 4 is 8. The second number, 5. The third number, 5, and the fourth number is 5. Turning now to the Carolina Cash 5. If no one wins the jackpot tonight, tomorrow night's jackpot is expected to grow to $251,000. Good luck, everybody. The first winning number tonight in the Carolina Cash 5 is 25. The second number, 13. The third number, 12. The fourth number, 24, and the final number in the Carolina Cash 5 tonight is 17. During the past 12 years, the lottery has contributed more than $5.5 billion to education. Get your winning lottery number right here on your exclusive station for the North Carolina Education Lottery. Thanks for playing and have a great night.
Movie star. That is not Bradley Cooper.
Isn't that crazy?
Who does it look like? It's like he looks like somebody, but it's not Bradley Cooper.
I tell you it is.
And she looks exactly the same.
She's not changing.
No,
she's
aiming for what you need to do and where you trying to go. Deal?
Yes, deal.
When it's time for your old Chevy truck to become their new Chevy truck, there's Truck Month. Get 10 or 14% below MSRP on 2018 Silverado pickups when you finance with GM Financial. Plus, during Truck Month, make no monthly payments for 90 days. See your Central Carolina Chevy dealer.
Now at Speedway, buy any 3 cooler drinks and get 1,000 bonus Speedy Rewards points. So get 1 for you and 2 to share, or all 3 for yourself. And maybe a backup set, just in case.
Summer is the time to get out and go. But before you do, get in to the Hyundai Epic Summer Sales Event. With next year's models on their way, it's your chance to get an amazing deal on a 2018 Hyundai and the peace of mind of America's best warranty. But hurry, because just like summer, the Hyundai Epic Summer Sales Event will soon be gone. Now get a new Elantra with 0% APR plus $1,000 in bonus cash, or lease a Sonata for only $149 a month. Hurry in today.
Covering sports in North Carolina for more than 3 decades. WRAL Sports with Jeff Grevley.
We first met Bryce Wilson back in 2016, his senior season at Orange High in Hillsboro. He was presented our Extra Effort Award as a star pitcher and outstanding football player. Bryce was supposed to pitch tomorrow night for Gwinnett against the Bulls in Durham, but there is a major change of plans. He is called up today to make his Major League debut for the Atlanta Braves. This season, Bryce has pitched in Single-A, Double-A, Triple-A, and now the majors. Tonight, 5 shutout innings, surrendering just 3 hits, strikes out 5 and walks 3. He's in line to get the win with the Braves leading 1-0. They got that run off of Clayton's Chris Archer. So we had 2 local pitchers on the mound tonight in Pittsburgh. 2 years ago, Bryce Wilson was pitching at Orange High School. Tonight, he wins his Major League debut 1-0 over the Pittsburgh Pirates. Well, the last thing the Carolina Panthers need is another injury on the offensive line. Ron Rivera said starting left tackle Matt Khalil has been dealing with knee soreness that the team is looking into. They're already without starting tackle Darrell Williams, who tore his MCL, and starting guard Amini Silatolu, who tore his meniscus. All this in camp. You hear all the time, next man up mantra. But this is getting to be quite an issue, losing player after player on the offensive line.
Well, absolutely concerned. I mean, you've got 3 potential starters right now that are missing time, and so it's going to be tough. But again, us as coaches got to continue to do the best job we can, make sure everybody gets prepared. At the same time, it'll be a little bit of a chore for the play caller for North. I mean, he's going to have to think through his calls, and it'll be a little different for him. But again, we play with who we have on the field.
For what it's worth, the Panthers are 2-0 in the preseason. They host the Patriots Friday night at 7:30. The Associated Press released its preseason college football poll with 4 ACC teams included in the top 25. The top 2 in the poll are Alabama first, followed by Clemson, checking in at number 2. They played each other for 3 straight years, including a tied win last year in the college football playoff semifinals. In the first place vote column, Alabama lands 42 to Clemson's 18. Wisconsin has the other first place vote. So here is the top 5. It is Alabama, Clemson, Georgia in at number 3, Wisconsin at 4, and Ohio State 5. Other ACC teams in there, Miami is number 8, Florida State 19, Virginia Tech 20. NC State receives enough votes for 32nd, Boston College 34th. Florida State is losing AD Stan Wilcox, who is leaving to join the front office of the NCAA. Wilcox became the Seminoles AD in 2013 after he served 5 years at Duke as their senior deputy director of athletics. In his new role with the NCAA, Wilcox assumes the duties left by Oliver Luck, dad of Colts quarterback Andrew Luck, who left the NCAA to become commissioner and CEO of the XFL. One of our local high school basketball players will play in the ACC for the Virginia Cavaliers. Caden Shedrick is in the 2019 class at Holly Springs High School. This picture from his visit to Virginia on Sunday to meet with Coach Tony Bennett. Shedrick used to be a 6-foot first baseman playing baseball, but after hitting a growth spurt, basketball became his future. He's now 6'10" and a future Virginia Cavalier. Major congrats for North Carolina women's soccer coach Anson Dorrance, who picked up his 1,000th career win yesterday. The Tar Heels get a goal from Jordan High School product Brianna Pinto. The freshman nets her first career goal as part of a 2-0 Carolina win. And yep, Coach Dorrance was doused after the game to commemorate win number 1,000. He's got 828 wins leading the Carolina women and 172 when he was the Tar Heel men's coach from 77 to 88. Used to coach both of them at the same time. Yep, Dorrance set the standard in women's soccer, starting the Carolina program in 79. He has won 22 national soccer championships and now has the number 1,000 as a part of his incredible career. Congratulations to Anson.
He's in a class all by himself.
Boy, he has turned out some players.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay.
Men, women, and children, everyone can participate.
Everyone. Still ahead, how this year's beard and mustache competition opened up to anyone who wanted to take part.
When a Mercedes-Benz becomes a Mercedes-Benz from Leaf, you can count on a host of benefits because nobody knows Mercedes-Benz better. We've been here almost 50 years, so here you have Leaf peace of mind pricing and online reviews from customers who come back for their 4th, 5th, and even their 7th car. There's a Mercedes-Benz, and then there's a Mercedes-Benz from Leaf. Come in for prices that give you the luxury of paying less.
Labor Day is just around the corner, which means one more day you don't have to sit here, or here. Haverty's Labor Day sale means you can sit here, or here. Get $100 off every $1,000 you spend for a limited time only. You deserve a better place to sit on your day off. Haverty's, life looks good.
Imagine experiencing this level of wow, this heightened state of car buying bliss. These feelings are not uncommon at the Honda Summer Spectacular event, where you could get a great deal on the Honda Pilot with seating for up to 8. This euphoria is only available at the Honda Summer Spectacular event. So come experience it for yourself.
We see it all the time.
Visit your local Honda dealer and test drive the Honda Pilot, named part of 2018's best SUV lineup in America.
Between birthdays, holidays, and family reunions, make your home the one that brings the family together with Spectrum.
Switch to Spectrum and get internet, TV, and voice for $29.99 each. Call 1-844-376-7732.
Your family can power all their smart devices at the same time. At the starting speeds of 200 megabits, you live uninterrupted.
That's fast.
And unlike satellite, Spectrum TV gives you more free HD channels like BET and ESPN.
Hey, honey, let's switch.
Call 1-844-376-7732 for Spectrum Internet, TV, and voice for only $29.99 each with free DVR.
And the best part? No contracts. And Spectrum will even buy out your current contract.
And you get a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Make your home a Spectrum home. Call now.
Sandra is always planning for the future, but has trouble managing her own health. United Health Group used data and analytics to predict Sandra was at risk for diabetes and offered her incentives and support to make healthier lifestyle choices.
It's a bit hairy in a part of England. More than 200 people from around the world gathered to sport their beards and mustaches. Look at that. Organizers say it's an all-inclusive event with 21 categories such as the Amish beard, sideburns, and freestyle. Even women can enter in a fake beard competition.
A button beard. A robot competition was a big hit at the World Robot Conference in China. The event, known as King of the Bots, can be best described as a cage match for remote-controlled machines. Sparks flew and wheeled robots tumbled as they crashed into each other. This was the lightweight division for robots weighing 30 pounds or less. Hold your breath. A young man waits to hear if he has broken a world record by solving 6 Rubik's Cubes underwater.
Wow.
Feiko Marshallashvili said that he trained for more than 6 months to achieve this feat. He sat in a glass tank and solved the puzzles as quickly as he could. Well, because he's holding his breath.
Wow.
And if you're still holding your breath, get this. He was underwater for 1:44 seconds. That's about 1:22 seconds longer than this story.
Good job. That's impressive.
It is. Wouldn't want to do it, though.
You're right. I was holding my breath the whole time.
Thank you for watching tonight. We continue to follow the toppling of Slilent Sam statue on UNC's campus. So make sure to tune into our morning news beginning at 4:30 on WRAL for the latest overnight developments.
Then tonight, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon is up next. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.